When this repeat offender stood before Judge Boyd, it wasn't just her criminal record that triggered her. It was the fact that she had multiple kids she didn't take care of, and she chose a life of crime over her children.
Okay, so what are your children's ages?
I have the oldest is 21, 18, 20. My 17-year-old graduated early. And then the ages 2, 8, 14.
So why were you with this guy?
This is a bad mistake.
No, I mean, these are choices. Did he force you to be with him?
No, ma'am.
So that was a choice you made. So the only time you have not been using is when you've been in custody. So Ms. Lopez, did you have a chance to review with your attorney the documents? And let me see where that document is. Thank you. The document entitled Waiver of Indictment, Reading of Information and Rights under Article 1.051 and 26.03 of the Code of Criminal Procedure.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that your attorney has certain rights, as do you? And those rights are to have this case brought before a grand jury for the grand jury to make the determination whether or not there is enough evidence to hold you open for trial?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you also understand that your attorney has certain time conditions that are related to your due process, namely 2 days from the presentation of the information?
Yes, Your
So
Honor.
2 days to expire once he's presented with the presentation of the information, and also 10 days to prepare for trial. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived indictment, reading of information and rights under Article 1.051 and 26.03 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. Did you review the information with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the information as presented?
Yes, Judge.
Did you review the admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand them?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor. I did.
Did you understand you're charged with possession of a controlled substance penalty group 1, less than 1 gram? That's a state jail felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Judge.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
Yes, Judge.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Judge.
Ms. Lopez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No,
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
no.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, the state recommends deferred adjudication. This will run concurrent with County Court Cause number 724150. They are taking into consideration 2024 PF 27235, 2025 CC 0000769. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes.
Defense, is that the plea?
It is.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Judge.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court.
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Judge.
Outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your community supervision be for a term of 4 years. Did you understand that's a recommendation from the state, and the court does not have to follow that recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
State any evidence?
Contained in Exhibit 1 and attachments.
No objection.
All right. State you have the dismissals for me, and after that you may be excused. Did you review the waiver and consent to stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor. I do.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand that today the state would be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there'll be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. Reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Judge.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge Victoria's, obviously she's got an addiction. She'd like to get an assistance for that addiction, but she also has 5 children under the age of 18 that she cares for. She's got a job at an insurance company, and she would like a chance to continue her life out there in the world. With that in mind, I know the court is going to order a TAP evaluation, and we'd ask that the court allow her to do the TAP evaluation out there.
So who are your children with now?
My mother's currently watching. 4 of them have graduated already.
Okay, so what are your children's ages?
I have the oldest is 21, 18, 20. My 17-year-old graduated early. And then the ages 2 to 8, 14.
All right, so has Child Protective Services been in your life?
Yes, they have.
All right, so did they place your children with your mom? That's either yes or no.
Yes, ma'am. Well, yes, ma'am.
All right, have your rights been terminated?
No, ma'am.
So why were you with this guy? And this is from, I guess, 2023? So why were you with him?
This is a bad mistake. that
No, I mean,
made.
these are choices. Did
Yes,
he
ma'am.
force you to be with him?
No, ma'am.
So that was a choice you made to hang your star to him.
Yes.
So why would you be with him? And you have children?
At the time I was homeless at that time. I do have an apartment now. I've had an apartment for about 4 months now, and I've come a long way from that time of my life.
So who lives with you at that apartment?
Currently me, my 14-year-old. That's all.
Because,
That's all, ma'am. Just me and my 14-year-old.
and why were you stealing at Melrose?
I needed some clothes.
And when's the last time you used?
Last time I used.
Mhm.
When I had got caught, my last conviction, maybe about 3-4 months ago, 3 months ago.
Judge, I think she means her last arrest, not conviction.
No, I'm sorry, my last arrest, yes, correct.
So your last arrest was 3 or 4 months ago,
Yes, ma'am,
and that's the last time you used.
yes, ma'am.
So the only time you have not been using is when you've been in custody.
No, I would use recreational, off and on.
All right, so when you're in custody, I mean, I know sometimes people make things at the jail, but you use when you're not in custody.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so this is the thing. I need you to be 100% honest with me, because if I grant your application for deferred adjudication, if you're unsuccessful and a motion to revoke is filed, you're looking at 2 years in the state jail facility. I want you to be successful. Obviously, the state and your counsel want you to be successful. So what have you been using in the past?
I use, methamphetamine.
And what else?
That was it, ma'am.
And how often were you using?
Recreational. Once or twice a month, maybe, not.
All right, see, once or twice a month does not result in you stealing clothes at Melrose and having drugs in your bra. So, I mean, it's more than once or twice a month,
No, ma'am.
because otherwise CPS would not have been in your life. So
CPS wasn't, I'm sorry,
was CPS in your life for drugs and everything
No,
else? Why?
it was an abusive relationship.
All right, see, people always say that, but I do know that CPS will not, and you've done CPS, CPS is not removing children from your custody or allowing your mother to take your children because you're being abused. Either they're removing them because you decide that you're going to stay with that guy and not put your children first, or either because there's drug use. But if you have an issue where you're in an abusive relationship, CPS will help you out of that abusive relationship. But if you choose to stay and choose the man over your children, that's when children are placed somewhere else.
And also for stability, I didn't have no form of stability. No, I was homeless.
No, CPS will help you get housing. Your attorney will tell you that.
They, I'm sorry, ma'am, but the CPS worker said that she was not allowed to help with housing.
No, that's,
That is true, actually.
Yes.
Well,
They can
no.
help get them on the list, but that's
Yeah.
they
as
will
far as
get
they
them
go.
on the list.
She said that, I'm sorry to interrupt, ma'am, I
Mhm.
don't mean to do that.
No,
She
no.
said that she was not allowed to, she has no strings in that department.
They do if you're in their children's court for addiction.
One question, Judge.
Yes.
Did they ever file a suit against you to terminate your parental rights? Or did you just work with family-based?
I work with families.
Okay.
Okay. All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court is going to sentence you to 3 years deferred adjudication. There's to be no contact with Melrose store if they're still in existence. And there's to be no contact with Anthony Reyna, Reyne, Cantu Jr. There's going to be a TAP evaluation and a felony drug court referral in custody. Counsel, the felony drug court, they'll see her before the week is out.
Okay.
There should be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. There should be regular random UAs. Proof of employment within 30 days. There should be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There should be no unsupervised contact with minors. There should be 200 hours of community service restitution. Once parenting classes are completed, 100 hours be deducted. How far did you go in school?
I graduated. I have a high school diploma.
All right, what are you planning on doing with your life?
I plan on going to go, apply at Toyota and UPS.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to require parenting classes. Once she completes parenting classes, 100 hours of community service will be deemed satisfied. I'm not going to order you to go to a trade school or obtain a higher level education, but if you do, if you get your CDL license or something of that nature, then the remaining hours will be deemed satisfied. There's going to be field visits 1 time per month until further notice. Probation, is there anything else she needs?
No,
Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
ma'am, I really appreciate this
All right, thank
opportunity.
you. And probation, I'm sorry, I'll add 60 sober meetings in 60 days. All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. In this court, communication is key.
Yes.
In order to be successful, talk to your probation officer. If you feel like you're going to use drugs, talk to your probation officer and let your probation officer know. People will tell you, your attorney will probably tell you. Normally, I do not revoke people because they're testing positive if they're trying to help themselves, right? So by you calling probation and telling them, I'm going to use, that's not necessarily going to get you revoked, because you need to know what you need to do in order to be clean and sober. And while you have this safety net, you need to use it. If you feel as though probation is not addressing it, you can always come to the court. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
All right, are you all ready on McIntyre? And then I'll take up the interpreter.